All right, here we go, baby. I'm just waiting for it to go. Here we are at Tom's Trains and Things. And today is Sunday, June 18th, Father's Day. Brought to you from sunny Naples, Florida. Okay, today we're going to do an update and run some trains. All right, there we go. Now, I've been working on this stuff yesterday and today trying to get these cameras going, and I've been trying to get 5 cameras and I only got 4 of them so far, and that's with including the webcam. So you can see I got one of them right back there, and one on the other side, one right in the middle, and the webcam, which I'm going to point down that way while I'm doing some trains. But I wanted to get 5 of them. I wanted to get one over there close where I had them in a video last week, and I tried everything. I got a Microsoft LifeCam and it just will not work, and I've plugged it directly into the hub, plugged it directly into the USB port on the laptop. Nothing. I updated OBS, I updated my graphics driver, I put it back in, still wouldn't work. So I put it over on my desktop, and what happens? It works right away. So I don't know, it's just something with the laptop that it won't work on the laptop anymore. Used to work fine, but now it won't. But anyway, I'm going to point the cameras. Here's the one camera I got on the back wall. It's going all the way down the back wall, and that back wall is almost, I think it's 17 feet. And then this is Rockwood, and over to the right where the tunnel portal is Leakin Creek, and that's at the far end. And this one here is right downtown Leakin Creek, pointing back towards Smedleyville, where the other camera is, and that's basically right in the center of the layout. Okay, and I don't know if you could see it, but let's see if I could point to it. Right there is where the camera is, hidden behind the dollies. What's it called? Dollies. Whatever. All right. Hi, Newcastle Cohen. Hi, Josh. How you doing? But anyway, the reason I'm doing this is because we're going to run some trains today. Now, I was going to do an op session, but with running 2 trains, and it's kind of hard doing it with having to switch the cameras around like this. So I'm just going to run them in the circle, and you'll be able to see them. Here, let me turn them on right now. Always go backwards. Okay, I got 2 loops on here. Let me see if we can get this down like this right here. Okay, this is the unfinished portion of the layout, but I got 2 loops. The one where the passenger cars is, that's an unattended loop. I could run that all day long with no problem. The other one where the switcher is with the log cars on there, it is a point-to-point with a reversing loop on both sides. so I have to do switching whenever it gets down to the other end in the reversing loop. I don't have anything automatic yet. So let me get, oops, wrong way. There we go, get up onto that camera right there. And I have another one. This is the one that's right in the middle of Leakin Creek. And I wanted to get, and wouldn't you know it, I got a derailment already. All day long it goes with no problems, and when you want to get something going, you have a derailment. Never fails. But anyway, let's get this back on over this way. And we're on our way again. Okay. I want layout today and MRA meeting. Okay, good deal, Josh. Okay, we got the switcher going down there, and we're going to be coming around. And this is where I have to do the switching on the loop. Alright, let me get this going the other way. We'll be coming up around. It's right underneath the camera right now. Yeah, this is why I wanted the 5th camera, so I could cover more area on here. Speed that one up a little bit. And we could switch it over to the other camera right now. See it coming around. And that's a reversing section back there, and I have to adjust the AR1 that I have back there. So let's come back to this one here. Yeah, I gotta come back on this one here. And there's that one up on top. And the other one should be coming around pretty soon. It's stuck in the tunnel. Now I gotta run underneath and get the switcher underneath there. It got stuck in something. I gotta stick my hand down in here. My hose got caught on something on the track. So we gotta come back down around. Here we go. All right, back to normal. But anyway, I made up a list of things I got to do, and this is towards the end of the month. So that's a lot to do. Okay, let me put this up here. Make that a little bit skinnier. Make it skinnier here. There, that's a little better. So Doug, I don't have a layout yet. Right now I'm working on SCARM to figure out what I'm going to do. SCARM's a good program. I use that, and I also used just the these tracks here just to see how everything fit. I do everything on paper first, but then you don't always see the problems that you're going to run into, so I put it on paper, and then after that I go to and put it on, lay it out to see what it's going to look like. What's on the list? You want me to read this whole thing right here? This is things to do. Okay, now some of them I did. You can see I checked them off on there. But continue with Gravely building. Now that's going to be on Wednesday. I'm going to have that out on the I'm stuck over there again. I'm just going to shut that one off because that one keeps on getting stuck. But anyway, continue with the Gravely building. I'm going to do that on Wednesday. I'm going to be doing the windows on that. And then I'm going to continue with the JMRI project on my next model railroading for beginners coming out around the second Saturday in July. I'm going to be hooking up JMRI and hooking up a cell phone, show you how to use a cell phone as a throttle. Now I did that in an earlier video, I don't know how long ago, but I showed you how I had it hooked up. I'm over here, but I didn't show you everything, so I'm going to go into a lot more detail on that. Okay, I have to do a new channel trailer. The one channel trailer I have, I did back in October, so I update for a new one. More CVs to change on economy decoders. I did a show on doing CV 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the locomotives to get some more realistic operation. And I'm going to do some more on some other CVs. That's another project coming up. Okay, wiring tortoise switch machines. Okay, I used on some of my switch machines, I used 8-conductor cable and hooked them up onto, or soldered them onto their connectors, and hooked them up onto small terminal blocks so I could use them. Hi, BNSF 1982. The JMRI video is going to be in July. I think the second Saturday in July. I've started it, but I'm still working on some of the final details, and it takes a lot of time to edit because I make a lot of mistakes along the way. Okay, next one. Using an old computer power supply. If you got a computer and you got a good power supply in there, you could pull that out and use it on your railroad, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, there's a lot of wires on there, but what you got to do is just get all the wires together of the same colors, and all the colors are specific voltages for the computer. But you need to pull all the colors together to get the current available, because each individual wire, the current isn't high enough. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, a new video for returning visitors. I'm just going to shut this off because it's just messing up. All right, now that's better. Now, I mean, it runs great all the time, but you know, whenever you want to put it on camera, everything messes up. Okay, so new video for returning visitors. That's where I was before. No, okay. Do as many Gravely buildings to finish that up. I know as I've been working on that for a long time, and I just have to, after the windows, I'm going to put it together and do some more weathering on it and get that thing finished up, because I have some new builds to go on, and that's right here. Start new builds. Okay, make list on new shout out candidates. I do a shout out Monday evening every Monday, and I got one coming up this Monday. I'm not going to tell you who it is because you'll find out on Monday. But I make a list out ahead of time of who I want to do. I go and research things on them people, and then I do the show on it. Okay. All right, what else? Atlas Track Planning Part 2. I did a quick tutorial on Atlas Track Planning software some time ago, and I'm going to do another one showing you how to edit what you already have and add on to it. So you could, all I did was just a 4x8 sheet with a oval in there. You talking about the Super Empire Builder? What would recommend for power supply for Empire Builder Command Center? I got the one that came from Digitrax. I bought that separately from it, but you could use any one with the specified voltage, and I'm not sure exactly where it is. I have to look that up, but I did that. I did a video on that earlier on the Super Empire Builder, on what the voltage is and what the amperage you need on that. and I think the Super Empire Builder is 5 amps, but don't quote me on that. I'm thinking one is 8 amps too, but I think that's on the Super Chief. But I'm pretty sure it's 5 amps. But on my video where I had I did the Super Empire Builder, you could look on there and see what the voltage and the amperage requirement is on it. But any wall wart with that amperage on it, I think anywhere from 12 to 15 volts DC, and I think it's 5 amps maximum. 5 amps maximum, I think. Okay. Easy or DIY discussion. Some time ago, one of my viewers was telling me that Digitrax is too hard. It's too hard to set the CVs and everything else up on it. And he saw James Wright do a video on the Prodigy. Had a little box where you could just click on a few things and it's nice graphical interface, and made it real easy. And so I was going to do an episode on that, because some time ago there was on Model Railroader magazine, and I also think on Model Railroader Hobbyist, there was viewers complaining, and on Facebook groups there was viewers complaining that things were too hard to build. But, you know, that's why we're in it. You know, most of us are in it because we want to build things. So there's a lot of people out there that want things easy that can't build, and that's what the discussion is going to be on. And I have to do a little bit more research on that, because I had another viewer comment about another software or another components that I wasn't familiar with, and I had to look that up, and it's almost $600 or $700 for this stuff. But I think this guy was from Europe, and it might be a European model that he was talking about. I can't remember what it is for right now. But okay, next one, do more live streams, and that's what I'm going to do. But I think I'm going to not run trains while I do the live streams, because it ain't working out right. I got 2 that aren't running right now, so it's too hard to watch the trains and talk and switch cameras at the same time. So we'll just go without running the trains the next time. Okay, 2 more. Do more behind the scenes footage. On Patreon, I have a Patreon page, and you can go there and donate as little as $1 to support my channel. And what I'd have on there are videos that I don't post on YouTube, and those are rewards for the patrons on Patreon. And so one of them is behind the scenes on doing model railroading for beginners. Okay, I went to the Tampa train show back in June, the early part of June, and it was I got a lot of footage on there, and I still haven't edited that yet, so I'm going to have to be doing that. I got everything on the computer, everything uploaded to the computer. Okay, is 18 gauge wire too small for bus wire? It depends on what scale you're on. Yeah, I would say, yeah. I use 14 gauge on HO. That's what I have here. 18 gauge, I mean, if you're doing N scale and it's a real small layout, very small, I'd say that would be okay, and use like 22 gauge for the feeder wires. But I would stick with 14 gauge, especially if you got the Super Empire Builder. That would the 14 gauge will handle it. The 18 gauge, I don't think it would handle it. Okay. Tampa Train Show. I got to add more links and content on my web page. I got a web page. Okay, you're doing N scale, so I would still go with it. If you're doing with the Super Empire Builder, I'd still go with 14 gauge and use maybe 20 to 22 gauge for your feeders, because I don't think the 18 gauge will handle the amperage on it. Okay. On my webpage, tomstrainsandthings.com, I have one page where I put all the links for track planning on there, and it's pretty long. I think there's about 30 or 35 links on there. It's the same links that I put in the one video that I did for beginners on track planning. Okay, that one's finished. Access door, my access door. I got an access door. Let me see if we could see it here. I got this thing in the way. Let me move this out of the way. Oops. Get this over here. Okay, now on this side, back there where you can see that camera, that's sitting on an access door, and I have two access doors that go like this and open up so I can get back to the track that runs in the back, and there's also a track underneath that I can get to. But I finished one of the access doors on the right hand side, and you could just barely see it. Okay, all these buildings right there are on the access door on the other side, and I just have to detail them a little bit more. I mean, even though they're in the back of the layout, I like to put a little bit more detail in it. And the ones that are sitting right back there, those are back in a corner, and behind that building right there, you could probably see the top of it. I have a speaker back there, and I'm going to discuss this when I'm doing JMRI. Let me see. When I do the JMRI one, I have some background sounds that I have. It's an old XP computer, and when I bought it, it was years ago. That was 15, 16, 14 maybe years ago. But anyway, I bought it with 5.1 surround sound. It was 2004 that I bought it, and I bought it because I was doing video editing back then, and doing music on Acid Music Studio, and I needed the 5.1 surround on that. And I have speakers all around. I got one over there, I got one on this end, and I got two over on the other ends, and then I got a subwoofer down underneath, and that'll be coming up on the JMRI one too, because I'm going to show you everything that I got hooked up to the computer. Okay, now what else we got? Okay, and everything else that I did, I looked into YouTube certified, but I have to have 10,000 subscribers to be eligible for that. So I'm a little way off for that yet. But I was looking into taking all the exams for that, and I did some of the lessons, and most of the stuff I already know because I went to the Creator Academy on YouTube. Best of playlist, I put that on. I put another playlist on my on my channel, the best of model railroading, everything you wanted to know to get started, but I have more to add to it. I changed some stuff on my web page, and another playlist, Let's Run Trains. So I have a playlist with ones like this where I was running trains, and I just put that on a couple of days ago. So that's about it for right now on that list. And I wanted to run trains on this, but this just didn't happen. And so I think I'm going to end it right here and try to figure out why I had all those derailments. I know there's one spot over there, and I have a lift out. Let me see if I could pull up that. Let me see right here. Okay. That one right there. Okay. This right here is a lift out section, and there's one track right here that is just up a little bit too high, and that's where I get the derailments all the time. And sometimes the cars will run over it real nice, and other times they'll just derail, and that's what happened a little while ago, and that's why I shut these things off, because it's too hard to run. Yeah, the one thing, okay, Doug, the one thing I have learned so far is the most important thing to do is plan your layout, and that's for sure. And one other thing that I would like to say is don't go too big. You might get overwhelmed with it. This layout here is probably my fourth layout. I've been doing this, well, since I was a kid. Started out with a 4x8 sheet of plywood like everybody else does when they're 10 or 11 years old. I think I was about 8 years old, and then you grow from there. But I had a house in Maryland with a nice big basement, and I got started on that. But then I had to raise the kids, and then I started a business, and just things didn't go very well, so I just packed everything up and put it aside, and every once in a while I would try to add to it. But for 20 years, it was just little pieces here and there. But on this layout right here, let me get another camera up, and that's the far side. What I did right there, that part right there is over top of a stairwell, and I moved a wall on there. There used to be a wall right where you see that bridge, and it went all the way up. So I cut that wall out, just made a half wall, and laid the layout on it right there. And I have L beams or whatever. I don't know really what you call them, but I have them screwed into the wall the whole length of that, to hold up the far end of it. But anyway, don't get too involved in your layout. Don't get too elaborate. I know everybody has big eyes when they first want to build a layout and get overwhelmed with it, but just take it easy the first time and do it easy. Don't get too overwhelmed. Okay. I'm getting a message here. The video is having, please use keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not being sent often enough, which will cause buffering. Okay. So, are you getting any good? Is there any buffering in the video or anything? Is it going to? You're getting that little circle thing going around. Okay. Doug says I'm going with 2 by 3 foot modules for my N gauge. That's a good size. How many modules are you going to do altogether? Let me see if I can get another camera on here. There we go. I'll put that one on there. Yeah, on this one here, as you can see on that one there, all the way down at the end used to be 4 foot closer because of the wall. Okay, thanks, Josh. Oh, it is. Well, it's not moving. So as long as you don't have that little round thing going in the center of the screen, we're doing okay. You know, you get a little thing up on here, stream health, and it says bad video settings. So maybe on the next time I'll have to change something on there. Let me see if I could see the stream. Yeah, I don't have anything moving on there right now. Let me do this. Put this over there. Let me see. There we go. You get that back on right there. Okay, Doug. The final plan will be 15 foot by 8 foot. Okay, so that's a pretty good size for N scale. And with that size, going back to your comment earlier about the 18 gauge bus wires, if you're going to go that big, then was that for your bus wires? If you're going that big, I would recommend the 14, because this layout right here is along the far wall is 17 foot and it's 10 foot. But it's shaped like an E. I have like 3 peninsulas. I have a peninsula on each end, and then I have a skinnier one in the center. So, I mean, I have a lot of capacity on there, and I divided it up with a PM. Hey, Chris. Hey. Glad you can make it. I have a PM42 on there. I just started editing the videos. All right, Josh. The PM42, I divided it into 4 different sections, not because it's so big, but because it's easier to troubleshoot. I'm going 10 by 16 in a G shape. Okay. Yeah, so I would recommend the 14 gauge bus wires on there, and then you could use the 20 or 22 gauge feeder wires, because that's what I used on here. I took some old Romex and I just stripped it and then used just the black and white wire on it. I had about 50 foot left over from a project, and that's what I used on here. Josh says, what editing program do you use on your videos? I use Vegas Pro 14. I've been using Vegas since 2004, I think. It started out as, I can't even remember. It wasn't called Vegas, the first one that I got. But it started out as an audio editing program, and then they included video editing to it, and the video editing took over the audio, but there's still people doing audio editing with Vegas Pro. But I like it, and they have a less expensive one. They have Vegas Movie Studio. They have 3 different price ranges for that. I think if you could find it when they have it on sale, you can get it as cheap as $39. And I have some links on my website for that also, for the Movie Studio and the Pro version. That is what I'm going to do as well. All right. So anyway, the PM42 it's usually to put it into districts, but I did it because I wanted to make it easier for troubleshooting. Because as you could see over here, okay, I'm still working on this section. And what I did was this section right here was finished, and I tore out a lot of it. That, you know, that's what it is on paper. You know, it looks good on paper, but once you get it going, it just, you know, just doesn't work. So you just rip it all out, and Chris knows about that. He ripped out his, he is redoing his whole layout. So anyway, on this section right here, I used to have a third layer up here. This was even higher. And that's where I had my logging stuff, but I tore all that out. It was just too complicated. So I ripped it all out because all that track in the back was underneath, and you couldn't see it. Okay. How do you hook up your feeder wires? I'm glad you asked, because I got a video on that also, on soldering your feeder wires. Now, you don't have to, I do, but a happy result. Okay. I live in an apartment, so I have to build modules so they can easily be disassembled and moved. So I'm going to be using Molex plugs from module to module. That's a good idea. I know where you're coming from with the apartment. All right. I have a video on feeder wires, and I just put that out maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago. So take a look at that. But you could solder them, and I also have some connectors, and I don't know if I can get the camera over that way. I got them at Home Depot, and you just push them into there. But they're good for the bus wires. But if you're going to use them on the feeder wires, I had to solder about 2 to 3 together to make them big enough so they would go into it, because they collapse real easy. And I wish I had one right here. I don't think I have any, but I got that on a video too. I showed them on that one for soldering. Somewhere in that video there is a section on there where I showed different plugs, and there's some plugs that I also use that were specifically made for fluorescent fixtures when you're changing out the ballast in there, so you don't have to use wire nuts and stuff when it's still live. You put the connectors on there, and then the wires just plug right into it, into the back of them, and those work pretty good. And I have that on that video too. I'm going to call it a day right now because it's getting dinner time. It's 6:37 right now, and I'm getting hungry. I appreciate you all coming in. Okay, BNSF 1982, would you recommend solid or stranded wire? Okay, it really doesn't matter. I prefer stranded wire because it just seems like there's more area than on solid wire. And to me, if you start, okay, go over here, you start moving a solid wire around a little bit, it tends to break, and you won't break it on the stranded wire. So I use stranded wire on most of the stuff. The only time that I used solid wire is I got it at Radio Shack on the green wires, and they didn't have any in the stranded at the time, so I used solid on that, and that's the only reason I have solid. But my bus wires, they're Romex, so they're solid. So I'm going to call it a night. I want to thank you all. You're welcome. And I'll be doing this again soon. So go ahead and check out my website. Check out the videos I have for model railroading for beginners if you want to learn some more. I have a lot of stuff on there. And I'll be doing another live stream maybe next Sunday. Oh, yeah. June 25th is 1 year for Tom's Trains and Things. So, yeah, I'll be doing a live stream on that. That'll be 1 year on YouTube with Tom's Trains and Things. But that's not how long I've been on YouTube. I started my first channel called Boring Family Videos back in almost 10 years ago. It'll be 10 years in September. So I've been on YouTube a long time, but I really didn't do anything on the family video one. You know, that didn't go anywhere. I put most of my videos on Vimeo because they were doing high definition and YouTube wasn't doing high definition yet. So I got disinterested in it. Okay, so we'll see you. Check out my channel. Check out the beginners series. Check out the new playlist I put on there. And if you'd like to, go to Patreon, and I have some rewards on there if you would like to support this channel and the web page. It costs money. I get a bill all the time for that web page. I don't know why. But we'll see you. And let me see. Let me go out this way. But I got to come back over and turn this thing off. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. All right, bye-bye.